It's you and I. So what are we? So hey, how's it going? What it looks like we're playing a game
Hey,
tonight.
we are.
What are we playing?
For my first blind date role
Mm-hmm.
play, we are going to play No Rest for the Wicked.
I dig it.
Yeah.
What is this game about? I'm curious.
So I want to read the little blurb that it
Mm.
has because it explains it really well.
Mm-hmm.
You have been spending countless weeks plotting your scheme for world domination. The death race calibrated, the stolen plutonium securely stashed away. You are ready to finally take over. Except you forgot to do the groceries.
Oh,
Or maybe you haven't picked up your supervillain costume from the dry cleaners yet. Either way, today is your day off. World domination can wait till tomorrow. Today you run errands evilly.
evil errands. I
Yes.
dig it.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it.
So you have three skills, and they should be down in the lower corner. But there's clever, power, and evil.
Hmm. I see it.
Yep. And you'll see that there's three types of dice next to them.
Hmm.
So first, what we're going to do is I'm gonna need you to roll 3d6
Okay.
one at a time. So we can figure out what your vice is, what your power is, and what plot it is that you are doing. And then you will get to decide where each of those dice gets put for your skills to
Cool.
start with, at least.
Okay. So my first D6 was a 3.
All right, a 3. Your vice is pride.
Right. Should we just write it here on like maybe like pride. Can you see that?
Right. Oh, um, I have it up at the top.
Oh, look right there. I'm just gonna stop doing things and just write.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boom. Pride. I'm a prideful villain.
Yes. What
Hmm.
are you proud of?
Hmm. Do I get to choose?
You do. Yeah.
Presentation layer.
Presentation layer.
The presentation layer of my wickedness. I feel like I really deliver. Now, I don't just deliver the goods when it comes to evil doing. I make it look good.
Nice.
So it's not just about being an evil doer. Anybody can do evil, but nobody can do evil like this. Yeah.
Ooh. Awesome.
Hmm.
All right. Next D6.
Okay. Boom. A
What'd you
4.
get? A 4. Your power is telekinesis.
Hmm.
So, how many things can you control at one time?
Oh, I get to choose?
I mean, it
Hmm.
has those questions here, so I'm assuming you get to choose, and plus it makes it more fun because
I
then I can
like
just
it.
hold it against you, be like, oh, but you can only move so many things at one time.
Yeah, how about this? Like I can hold a lot of things, but only like tiny things, only small things. And that's
Ah,
part of the razzle dazzle of my wickedness.
nice,
Hmm.
very nice. All right, and then last D6.
That's
Let's figure out what
D6.
you're doing today.
A 1.
A 1. You have to take your pet for a walk.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what kind of a pet do you have?
Let's see. Well, it has to be an evil pet, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you are
So,
very prideful of your evil image,
right.
so.
Yeah, I feel like my pet needs to be a part of the epicness of how I'm delivering this thing, my evil.
Mm.
So, let's see. So it needs to be majestic. It needs to be hmm hmm. It needs to be like part of my shtick too. I feel like this needs to be like an like an ostrich or something.
An
Like it needs to
ostrich.
be it needs to be exotic. Yeah.
Are you sure you don't want it to be an emu?
It could be an emu, but no,
I think
let's go.
ostriches are larger.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels right. We should do an ostrich.
Awesome. And what is your villain name?
My villain name? Let's go with Razzle Dazzle, since we mentioned that
Razzle
earlier.
Dazzle.
Razzle Dazzle.
All right. Boom.
I like it.
Razzle Dazzle.
Hmm.
Okay. So now you get to decide which, like where each die goes as far as your skills. So one of them will
Mm.
be a D4, one will be a D6, and one will be a D8. and that can change throughout the game depending on
Hmm.
how your rolls go.
Okay. Let's do our D4 is going to be an evil to begin with.
Mhm. Well, and I should point out that you want to roll low.
Oh, so low die are good.
Yeah, anything 4+ is a failure.
Okay. Then we're going to go our evil's going to be an 8. And let's actually leave them just like this. Clever can be a 4, power can be a 6, and evil can be an 8.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. All
Mm-hmm.
right. So if you wind up failing one of your rolls,
Mm-hmm.
then I get to switch two of your dice.
I like it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if you succeed, then you get to switch
Mm,
two of your dice. So they'll be
gotcha.
moving around throughout this whole thing.
I like it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I'm having a
yeah.
rough day. Mm-hmm.
Mm. Yep. You're well, I mean, it's your day off, so you're not on your A game.
Mm-hmm.
You're just being plain old razzle,
Exactly.
not doing the dazzle.
No, I left the dazzle in the other pants.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, question.
Mm-hmm.
What is your ostrich's name?
Let's see. The ostrich's name is Charles Montague.
Charles Montague. That is a very nice,
Mm-hmm.
nice name.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so just so you know, you are trying to get through your errands while not attracting attention to yourself. Because if you
Mm.
do, then local superheroes might show up, and then that will just like throw everything
Yeah.
into mayhem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thankfully, ostriches, real common animal in
Hmm,
Megalopolis, where we live, of course.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Super chill.
yeah.
Yeah.
So what kind of a like where in Megalopolis does Razzle Dazzle live?
Megalopolis. It's a huge city. It's far larger than even a metropolis. It's a megalopolis. I mean, that thing is just massive.
Yeah.
And I feel like we live in the suburbs because we're not like Razzle Dazzle is an up and coming mega villain, and so doesn't have like enough to live downtown because property prices. It's pretty crazy. I'm not sure if you yeah it's pretty wild the
Hmm.
megalopolis. Yeah, so we live in one of the smaller suburbs.
Okay.
Hmm.
And last question to kind of set things up. What is your evil plan that you are going to be putting into motion tomorrow?
Oh, this is like the big thing we've been working up to.
Yeah.
So I think the evil plan is to what we're gonna do is we're gonna one up the Macy's parade. So there's a Macy's parade that's here, and we're gonna show the world just how out of touch the Macy's parade is, and how if you just throw in a dash of evil, just a dash, you could really have a good time. It's family friendly, and I think it's really going to jack up the ratings. And I'm pretty sure we're going to get some kind of an exclusive deal that we can then use to pivot that into some real evil change.
Nice.
Mhm.
So you're trying to get into like reality TV?
I no, I wouldn't definitely not
No.
call it reality
No.
TV. It's
Oh, okay.
evil TV. Evil
Evil
TV.
evil TV.
Hmm.
Yeah. Well, and
Hmm.
you seem so prideful that you wouldn't want to do anything that's not scripted,
No, absolutely not.
where you didn't have control.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has to
All
be
right.
done just the right way.
Hmm. So where do you take your ostrich for a walk usually?
I think we're doing like a little bit of like a jog, because we gotta
Mm-hmm.
make sure we get some of the energy out of Charles Montague. Mr. Charles Montague, sorry. And so I think we're just going like for a little bit of a jog around not just the block. We have like a preset established path to make sure that we avoid problem areas and also visit friendly neighbors.
Nice.
Hmm.
Awesome. All right. Well, today is a wonderfully evil day. It's the
Hmm.
perfect weather for going for a jog with Charles Montague.
Absolutely.
And you get your razzly dazzly jogging outfit on because of
100%.
course you have one, and so does Charles
100. Oh
because
yeah, absolutely. With the
you
glasses and
have to
everything, like
match.
shades.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And you start on your run. And for probably the first minute, it's going super great. Like you're waving to the evil widow, Miss Johnson, and you're stealing candy from the kids who are on the sidewalk.
Nice.
But you take a couple turns and you see that the street is closed.
Uh-oh.
Like there's barricades that have been put up, and there's a couple police officers just kind of like sitting around doing absolutely nothing.
We have to change the plan then. Man, this is not for the lighthearted. To make sure that you pre-plan all the stuff just right, and then somebody throws a wrench in there. That's a mean way to mess up a Sunday. Okay. Yeah, this is gonna take some time to figure this thing out. I may have to kibitz a bit with Mr. Charles Montague here to find out the best route.
I mean, he is your pet for a reason, right?
Absolutely. So I think I'm gonna try to figure out. We need to replan our route strategy. hmm Is there anything in particular I have to do that, or I just replan the route strategy?
Yeah, you can. Where what are you gonna do to replan? Like, where are you gonna go instead now?
I think I need to get out my evil phone and I need to start going through and like I need to do a little bit of research because again, I need to pre-plan this stuff. I have to make sure it's just right.
Yeah,
Years
well,
of research went into this
I think that
pre-planned route to begin with.
you would have to be clever to be able to figure out
Absolutely.
a new route like
hmm
that quickly, because
Yeah. There's a lot of
you do have
variables.
an ostrich, and they're like, people could start to be looking at
hmm
you like, what why
Exactly.
does the ostrich have like
hmm
sparkles?
Why does the ostrich look more fabulous than I do? And then they start getting really insecure, and then they start asking
Yeah,
questions, and that's the last thing we want. So,
absolutely.
mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
So why don't you
So
roll your d4?
I will roll a d4. Boom.
Boom. And now you can switch any two die around if you want to.
Okay. Let's switch our clever and our evil.
All right.
And I
Can you
can't
move those, or you want me to?
yeah, I can't move them. You'll have to move them.
All right.
Nice. Cool. Because we're getting a little bit
Done.
flustered right now. It's yeah, we found the new route, but man, I'm just it's not that's not how I foresaw the day going this early.
Yeah.
hmm
All right. Well, you get onto evil maps, and you can see that it'll make your route a little bit longer,
hmm
but you can kind of like go around this by a couple blocks and make sure that you miss this part of the street where they're doing whatever it is they're doing. Like, you can't really
Perfect.
see anything on the street,
hmm
but might be construction. They've been doing a lot of construction lately.
Awesome. It's not worth our time. Um, Mr. Charles Montague and I have a very strict schedule to keep, so we're have to pick up the pace just a little bit to make sure that we can
Mm,
get back on pre-scheduled time at the very least.
awesome.
hmm
All right.
Okay, so on we go.
Yep, you take a hard left and off you go on your new predetermined route.
I like it.
Unfortunately, this takes you in front of your nemesis house, uh, the evil Dr. Wham,
You know,
and
I've been
he's
complaining.
outside.
I've been complaining to evilmaps.com that they have not been updating their maps with appropriate landmarks that are relevant to me. And this is just one more piece of feedback I'm going to provide when I get back home.
Hmm.
hmm
Yeah,
Dr.
well,
Wham.
Dr. Wham sees you and Mr. Charles Montague coming,
Mm,
and he is making his way down to where you are, and as he's making his way down, he has his weird little like controller that he never goes
hmm
anywhere without, and he's like jamming on a button
hmm
as he's staring you down. And it takes a little while, but finally the button seems to work, and like a giant wall just goes right across the street right in front of you,
Rude.
and he starts yelling at you, Razzle, you, I've been needing to talk to you. I don't like what you've been doing lately.
Mm. I think Razzle Dazzle and Mr. Charles Montague, he kind of Charles Montague brings up a wing just ever so gently, kind of like to shield his face,
Uh,
unsuccessfully of course because he's an ostrich,
mhm.
but making the effort nonetheless. And I think we're just gonna try to like it's across the street. But I think we need to do is this is a great time. I turn to Mr. Charles Montague. I say, Charles Montague, I think it's time for some good calisthenics, some high knees, I believe, to clear these picket fences and just be on our merry way. Thank you, sir.
Hmm. You get the feeling that Charles might be able to make it by himself, but
Hmm.
he couldn't carry you. And if you tried to climb,
Try
uh,
to climb.
then Dr. Wham would definitely get to you long before you got over the top.
Damn. Um. This is a problem. This is a problem. You know what I'm gonna try to do? If it's possible, I think because his little button masher is relatively small, so I think maybe
Mhm.
what we'll try to do is I'm gonna use the power of my telekinesis to 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 take that thing, and it can't just be about pushing buttons. That's not as cool. I think I need to like make the little button presser thing like smash
Mhm.
against his head a bunch of times and like push the buttons until something happens to this wall. I think that's the right way to do it.
Awesome.
Hmm.
Well, that sounds like you want to use your power.
Hmm. Let's do it.
All right.
I'm doing it. Roll a d6. Shabadoom.
What is wrong with the rolls today?
Nothing's
You
wrong with
got
these
three
rolls.
ones in a row. The dice are evil tonight.
They're
That's what it is. Yeah.
coming to Millhouse.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Awesome. Yeah. So his little remote kind of like floats out of his hand and he looks at it kind of weird and then it starts smacking him in the head
Hmm.
and like all different angles, getting all the different buttons on there until it finally hits the one that starts to retract the
Hmm.
wall.
Yep, absolutely.
And he's definitely like gonna be out for a little while
Yeah,
from
yeah,
all
yeah.
of the
And we're
smacks.
just
There were a lot of buttons on there, despite how small it was.
there were a lot of buttons that had to be pushed. We had to make sure we get all of them. I don't know
Mhm.
what the rest of them did. I don't really care. It's not. I'm not really interested in that. This has put us back a good 7 seconds on our pace, and so
Mm.
Charles Montague, we're gonna have to pick things up even more now. We can make it, but it's gonna be we have to put some effort in. This is gonna be a good workout day. I think maybe a treat is in stock for us, Mr. Charles Montague, when we get back home.
Oh, very nice. So you
Hmm.
get around the wall and you see that Mr. Charles Montague is now surrounded by a small cadre of children who are
Children. Oh,
petting him
one
and
second.
touching his sparkles.
Do I get to switch dice around because I made a
Yes, you do.
Okay. We're gonna switch clever with power for favor.
That's right. I have to do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Children, you say, surrounding Mr. Charles Montague. Mr. Charles Montague is
Mm.
not some zoo animal to be petted upon
He
by
seems to be
small
preening
humans.
at their attention.
Are the children playing with anything? Like a ball or something?
It appears that they were playing like football
Mm.
in the street. One of them has like the football underneath their arm, but the rest of them don't really have anything on them.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to I'm gonna start coming up to children as my jog, and I'm gonna say, ah, yes, tiny human person children. Yes, kick me the foosball. Kick it to me. Yes, I will show you. I too am a cool human. And I want them to I want to see if they can roll the ball to me because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick it over somebody's fence, most evilly.
They look at you like you're an alien.
Of course I'm. No, I am a fellow human of yours. They're not feeling it. Damn.
No, they're much more interested in Mr. Charles Montague.
Hmm. This is a
In
this is a
fact, one of the little girls that's sitting there is talking about her plans for making him like the sparkliest fun hat that he can wear because it would go really nice with his outfit.
Oh, what kind of a hat are we talking about?
Oh, like a miniature top hat.
Oh, does the child have these resources here to be able to create this top hat? I am Razzle Dazzle is quite interested now. I think maybe this is an avenue that we take a small. Mr. Charles Montague, I think maybe we can take a small detour, for this budding evil tiny human child.
Oh, she's extremely excited,
Mm-hmm.
but kind of wary of
Mm-hmm.
you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think you need to roll your evil,
Mm.
and you don't want to be evil.
Oh, I don't. Hmm.
No, you
Okay.
would scare the child.
Oh, I was hoping to instill some evil, but maybe I'm doing it. I was trying to do it too friendly like. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, they can smell your fear.
Oh, I get it. Well, we're keeping up with our rolls of ones. We have to be evil.
Oh,
Would you like me to narrate some evil? I can definitely narrate some evil.
narrate some evil. Go for it.
Cool. So maybe the child is very excited. The small human person child thing is very excited and has like a box of crafts. And as she brings it out, then I just say, "Yes, this is mine!" And I snatch the box, and half of it goes scattering everywhere. Yes, see, and I will show you how you make an appropriately sparkly thing. And I start like taking all of the things that are there, and I start cutting up
Hmm.
all the pieces, and I have no time for this because we have to be on our merry way. Mr. Charles Montague
Hmm.
and we have a time schedule to keep, a timetable. And so I'm like cutting up like half of all of the felt and stuff that she has in there, and like using way more glue and tacky bits that I need to. And so I've wasted like half of her arts and crafts thing.
Oh man, she's crying.
Excellent. Then now
Yeah.
this tiny human person sees the gloriousness. The reason that she's crying, by the way, is because she saw my tiny top hat, and when I place it on top of Charles Montague's head, with like some safety pins, not safety pins, like the what do you call it, like hair,
Bobby pin.
bobby pins. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Ozzy's got it. Bobby pins. Yeah, yeah. No, she definitely has pins in her craft kit. So I put
No,
little
you
bobby pins.
just staple it, right?
No,
Yeah.
not on Mr. Charles Montague's head. I would staple it on the small child's head. So I
Oh,
put the
okay.
little bobby pins in there. And the reason this child is crying so much is because she is clearly destroyed by seeing this level of craftsmanship and beauty that they clearly cannot possess and probably will never. And I realize now that my time even spent talking to this child is a waste. There's
Yeah.
no. I thought there was value here. There's not.
Yeah. Well, clearly that must be why she's crying, but it has
Yeah.
also upset her fellows,
Hmm.
and a couple of them are now like trying to stomp on your feet and punch you and kick you in the shin.
That is rude. Charles Montague, we must go. Away.
Are you trying to get away from the
Yes.
children?
We
You
are.
might have to be a little clever to do that. I mean, how are you going to keep them from following you?
I think we're gonna have to. Well, see, the nice thing is that these small human children have also small human children brains, and so they, I mean, smaller even than Mr. Charles Montague. I mean, I think this is a stated fact. I'm fairly certain I've read at least 5 or 6 articles about such a thing. And so
Mm.
I think what we're gonna do is we need to follow a strict plan of bobbing, weaving, and Charles Montague will even scale some small walls, which the children will have a difficult time with. And I think they're more interested in Mr. Charles Montague than myself. And I will just try to what the kids colloquially call as beat feet, and try to lose them amongst some alleys and side passageways, most cleverly.
Most cleverly,
Mm-hmm.
yes. Let us see how clever you are.
Most clever. You ready for another one here?
Uh, let's do it.
It's not a one.
It's three.
Mm-hmm. Still good.
You still got it. You can switch two of your die if you want.
Yeah, yeah. Let's switch our clever and our power. That sounds exciting.
Sweet.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So yeah,
We
you start bobbing and
we
weaving.
zag.
Mr. Charles Montague like jumps up on a little sidewall and runs along it, jumps on the other
Nice.
side, and jumps back, and you're trying to keep up with him because he's actually really fast
Mm-hmm.
compared to you.
Absolutely.
And by the time you've lost the children, and you and Mr. Charles Montague are like trying to high five, but he can't because he's an ostrich and his wings don't
Haha.
move like that.
That's okay.
Um, you have definitely gone off your predetermined path,
No.
your second predetermined path,
Now
and
we're on to
you're
the
not
third.
sure you've ever been down this street before.
Uh-oh. This is the problem. Do I recognize the store? Well, I clearly don't recognize my surroundings, and I do not trust that the evilmaps.com is going to have my back in the situation. So I think we just need to take stock, look around us a bit, and find out what our surroundings are all about.
Excellent. So you look down the left side of the street, and it's like cookie cutter houses.
Hmm.
They all look exactly the same, only
Mediocre.
in different shades of beige,
Ugh, terrible.
and all with manicured
What's in the other
lawns.
direction? That's a terrible. We're not going there.
On the other side, it looks like it's abandoned. Obviously,
Hmm.
somebody owns that whole block, and it has a giant fence around it,
Hmm.
and you can see like the spires of some old house coming out of the top, but it's surrounded by trees that look dark and menacing.
Excellent. Finally, some peace and quiet for Mr. Charles Montague and I. We clearly will take this path. Maybe there'll be some good undulating hills that we can go across, or at least zig and zag between some of the foliage and enjoy a nature walk. This is quite nice, Mr. Charles Montague. This was a good turn of events.
So are you going to try to get over the fence?
Oh, we have to go over a fence to be able to go in there.
Yeah.
I think it's worth the price of admission.
Okay. Wow, how do you plan on getting over the fence?
Clearly, we destroy it.
Oh, that sounds, hmm, is that evil or is that clever? I think that's more clever because you have to be quick-witted to be able to actually get it
Mm,
done.
I like
Plus,
it.
it's not a wooden fence, it's actually wrought iron, so it would take,
Oh.
like, you gotta use your skills
Yeah, we
here.
got to really think about it. Okay, I like it. Let's do
Hmm.
it. Boom.
What? Man, razzle dazzle, you are just on it
You
today.
don't. I mean, clearly many of my enemies underestimate me, and this has been
Mm,
going on for far too long. And I think after tomorrow, people will see that the last laugh will be mine, not theirs.
nice. All right, do you want to switch any of your dice?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's switch evil and clever because we can.
Because we can.
That's right.
All right. Sorry, I just got really hot. Take
Mm-hmm.
my sweater off.
Yeah, yeah.
Evil and clever
Mm-hmm.
switch. Awesome. So why don't you tell me how you managed to like get over this wrought iron fence?
Well, it's funny you mentioned over. We don't necessarily get over the iron fence. Well, we do walk
Mm.
over the iron fence, but that's after we've sufficiently dismantled it. So I'm noticing, and this is just something again, I wouldn't use the word cosplay. What I would use is advanced costume and design engineer.
Mm.
And and as part of crafting such glorious mechanisms and arrays of fanciness that I wear upon my person, one thing that I definitely know is how easily things can fall apart. And what I notice is that what's actually holding up this wrought iron fence on the one side, this used to be like a hinged gate, and it looks like somebody just decided to, like do a couple spot welds. And clearly, this is nothing that's a match for both myself and Charles Montague, throwing ourselves clearly directly at and slamming our shoulders upon. Because again, this goes more to our exercise routine. This is something that while we don't necessarily slam into fences often, we clearly do resistance training, and I think this falls into that line.
Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
So with a very loud clang, it
Mm-hmm.
falls to the ground,
Absolutely.
barely missing some of the tree trunks, and you and Mr. Charles Montague gain entrance into this estate.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we will continue our run through the trees and abandoned building area of spookiness. I like this. This is great. We're gonna have to make sure we map this. Does evilmaps.com, does it have like one of those features? Maybe this is a premium that I don't have yet. Where it like tracks your run so that you can come back here
Mm.
later. This is something I'd like to see later again. This is nice.
It's not on evilmaps.com, but it is on an app that you downloaded last
Hmm.
week just for your runs because you want to make sure that you're getting better at them. So it's like it
Perfect.
times them and it
That's what I
like
want.
shows you where you've gone.
There we go. I like it.
Mhm.
Efficiency is key.
Yeah. Plus, it gives you like little cheers of like accomplishment every
That's
time
nice.
you've gone like a mile.
I appreciate it. That feedback.
Mm-hmm.
Little things. I make sure I
Nice.
show them to Charles Montague. He can't read, but I read them to him. He also can't
Yeah,
understand English, but he understands the feeling that I'm putting into it.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So you're headed into the forest
Spooky
and
forest, yeah.
spooky forest,
Mm-hmm.
and you're headed towards the abandoned looking building.
Yeah, we're not planning on going inside of it, unless that's the only way to get through this. I'd prefer it's
Oh
not.
no, you can definitely go
Okay.
around it.
Yeah. We're just trying to go through this area to try to get our way back on track. Mm-hmm.
Nice. Yeah. So you're running through the area. There's lots of like hanging moss and spiders and
Nice.
spider webs.
Awesome.
You even see like a couple shadows that just like move, but you know it's like the wind or
Yeah.
something.
Strategically
And
placed ambiance. That's solid. I like that.
absolutely, you get to the abandoned looking
Can't pay for
house,
that. No.
and it's painted black,
Mm.
and it's very Victorian looking.
Mm.
And
Nice.
you kind of swear you almost see someone in the top window, but you're
Mm.
not quite sure.
Okay. Yeah, I think because again, we're passing by somebody's house. We don't know them. This is an area that I think maybe we may frequent again. It's always nice to make new friends, especially potentially evil friends. And this seems like a quite high chance of somebody evil who lives here. So I think we give a nice friendly evil wave. What an evil wave? Is that like flipping somebody off? I don't think so. I think you just wave. You just wave
It's it's
kindly.
it's, it's like
Hello.
the princess way.
Yeah, as we're walking, and I think maybe
Mm.
maybe even Charles Montague turns and gives his signature head bob. Yeah, his
Mm.
signature. Hmm.
As soon as Mr. Charles Montague gives his little head bob,
Mm.
you notice that the figure in the top window, like their eyes start glowing red,
Mm.
and then you see their shadow disappear,
Mm.
and the front door bursts open, and this dark presence comes out and stands right in front of you.
Oh, like rushing out to say hello. Oh well then I stop. Hello, nice to meet you. It's so glad to meet another evil, mysteriously shadowy red-eyed person. This is exciting. I am I am
Uh,
I am one Razzle Dazzle, and this is of course is my companion,
mm,
Mr. Charles Montague.
so
We're
are you
taking a
are you trying to like impress this person, or
We're just saying hello. A fine
are you
introduction.
saying hello? Okay.
Yeah.
Uh, so as the darkness settles, you see that it is just an ancient looking woman,
Mm.
and she doesn't pay any attention to you, but she
Mm.
picks up her finger and she points it at Charles Montague
Mm.
and starts chanting something.
Yes, well, it was excellent to meet you. I think Mr. Charles Montague and I must be on our way. Hopefully we will see you again. Come, Mr. Charles Montague. And I think I tried to shuffle him along.
Uh, she grabs your hand to
Oh
keep you
no!
from leaving
I kick her in
as
the
she
shins.
completes. Kick her in the shin.
Kick her in the
I think
shins
you would
as a
have to be kind
distraction.
of evil to
I
kick an ancient old lady in the shins.
Well, she's ancient, and so her bones are brittle, and it's a good chance that she's gonna fall and drop pretty easily, and then that'll be our chance to run away. But I mean,
Mm,
she does look pretty evil. I am fairly certain this is a great way to establish our relationship, and she will appreciate it in the years to come.
nice.
Hmm. Okay, I'll roll my evil. Are her shins sufficiently kicked?
Her shin is sufficiently kicked, and you have definitely gotten her attention.
Mm.
Um, she finally looks at you,
Good.
and she kind of like does the once over kind
Hmm.
of praising, and she says, "You look a little too fancy to be here."
Excuse me. It's not the fanciness. It's the presentation. But I apologize. We have lingered far too long, taken, of course, far too much of your time. Please, Mr. Charles Montague and I will now be on our way. Thank you for this kind introduction, and maybe hopefully never will see you again. Bye.
As you're walking away, you hear her grumble, "You should teach that ostrich to take his hat off,
Mm.
or to tip his hat."
Oh yes, that's actually I will make myself a note in the in the app. for this
Yeah.
area. I'll make sure I put a note in this area if the app has that feature, unless it's in the premium edition, in which case I don't. I'll take
But
like a
no,
little
it's in the
verbal.
premium. You'd have to pay
Damn.
like $6 a month for
I
that.
don't have that kind of money yet. Tomorrow though. Tomorrow. So
No?
I'll make a mental note to talk to Mr. Charles
Hmm.
Montague about this. Maybe this is like a future trick, like something he can do. It's good. This is good. She's clearly, we're gonna have to come back here. She's clearly aware of the presentation layer in her evil. So this is everything about that was really impressive. So I'm again mental note.
Awesome. All
Mhm.
right. You get to the other side of the
Awesome.
estate, and you are once again confronted by the fence.
Damn. Is there a gate or something? Now realizing that there's somebody who lives here, I feel kind of rude just knocking down um one of her walls. Is there a easier way if I'm looking around to get past this?
Mm, I don't.
Or
Let's
would you like me to be
see.
clever to see if there's something that we can
Yeah, I was
jump
gonna say,
upon
let's
and
see how
move around to?
clever you are as far as like if you can tell if there is a
Mm-hmm.
gate, and if not, then an
Like
easy way to get over without having to like destroy the gate
yeah, or like a
again.
side passageway or
Hmm.
a spooky hole that's covered with, spiders and such. There we go.
Yeah, excellent.
Let's switch our
Do you want to switch?
clever, let's switch our clever and our power.
Okay.
'Cause reasons.
Cause reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You don't notice a gate,
Mm.
but you do notice one of those little like drainage
A
pipes that
culvert.
goes
Perfect.
like, yeah.
Excellent. We will make our way through that. This is good. See, we're changing elevation. We're going through tight spaces. This is a great chance. Mr. Charles Montague, this is really good. This is going to work your hamstrings. Do ostriches have hamstrings? I don't know, but this is an exercise that would normally work a creature's hamstrings. And so we're going to have to do some research when we get back home to see what muscle group this is working for you. But I believe this is unique. So this is good. Change is good, Mr. Charles Montague. And we
Mm,
go through the culvert.
excellent. As Mr. Charles Montague comes out the other side, you notice that he has like spider webs all
Hmm.
over his new hat and like onto his like feathers and sparkly suit.
It was a felt hat, so that's gonna catch a lot of those spider webs. How does it look? Does it feel like it's matching with the feel we're going for, or does it clash?
Oh no, it clashes. I
Damn.
mean, because you're going for, razzle dazzle, so you're going for the bright kind of Hollywood flashy look,
It's gotta look
and
clean.
yeah, the dirty
It's
cobwebs.
not working.
This,
It's not working. You know
yeah.
what? Normally I would stop and dust it off, take a little bit of time, but we don't have time for this. I think we just keep on the run, and I use my abilities to maybe just
Uh-huh.
to just sweep some of this stuff away, but like in a cool way. So like as he's running, I take out my camera and I'm like running to the side of him, and I'm getting like a little pan shot, and it looks like as he's running. And again, this is all going to come out in post. It's going to look really nice. Maybe we'll put it on the blog. So Charles Montague is running, and then as it's happening, I'm using my telekinesis to like pull the spiders away, and it's kind of rushing into the background. I'll add like some fire and smoke effects later on to make it like really pop.
Mm.
Hmm.
Well, let's see how well you do.
I like it.
Because I mean, you are running
Oh,
and
for sure.
holding a camera,
Absolutely. This is tricky.
trying to keep everything in frame.
Ooh, finally. Wow.
Wow. Yeah. There was just too much.
Hmm.
Your power didn't work as well, and as you were concentrating more on removing the cobwebs and the spiders,
Hmm.
you accidentally run into an old man and knock him over.
Damn. That's gonna slow us down. Am I injured?
You are not, but the old man appears to be injured.
Whew, that was a
I
close
am going
call.
to switch your clever and evil.
I like it. That was a close call. Is the phone okay? Did I get the shot at least? Was it like, is it serviceable?
No,
Damn.
it's not, unfortunately.
And we can't go back and do that again. Like Charles Montague, you really got to be watching out for those things. This is that level of professionalism we've been talking about. You have to elevate that. You have to elevate. That's what separates you from the rest of the pack. You have to remember this. I'm having this conversation as we're running away, not totally ignoring the old man that we knocked down and injured.
Nice.
In a most evil way.
In the most evil. Ah, most evil.
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 Hmm. Do you
Okay.
need me to roll my evil to see if we can hold our evil as we run away?
Yep.
You got it. It's thinking. There you go.
Oh.
Now the higher numbers come.
Um, no, man, it's like you did that tumble and now your steps off. You
Oh
you
no.
can't you're not feeling the evil today or right now at least. Like you were doing great before.
I
You
know.
had like
I was feeling good.
you were doing good with those kids and
Hmm.
the Dr. Wham.
Yeah.
You made a new friend with the weird
Right? The old
lady,
ancient lady that he kicked in
the
the
ancient
shins?
lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you ran into this old dude
Yeah.
and
This mundane person.
now
Yeah.
like you literally trip over your own feet.
Wow. And I
Yeah.
couldn't even get the shot right. That's rough. That's rough.
Hmm. And as you fall to the ground
Hmm.
and you're kind of like stuck looking up, you see a familiar form fly over you
Hmm.
and land over by the old man you knocked over.
What is it?
It is one of the local
Are you
superheroes,
kidding me? God.
and his name is uh Captain Righteous.
Oh, I like it.
And yeah, he bends over and helps the old man up, while giving him a stern talk about he's a little too old to be walking around the streets unawares, and he should have one of his strapping young grandsons with him to help make sure that he stays safe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, and I go by and I pat Captain Righteous in the back. Yes, 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 and it's you clearly have this will in hand. Mr. Charles Montague and I will be on our way, and I'm glad I could be of assistance. And then I try to I try to continue on my merry, which is probably not going
Not
to
so
happen.
fast.
Not so fast, sir.
Not so fast, sir. I have been following a string of events
Hmm.
from children
Hmm.
to broken fences, and now this poor old man.
That doesn't sound like me at all. That sounds relatively boring. And then I stop and
Mm.
I pose and I say, "Do I strike you, Captain Righteous, as somebody who seems particularly boring?"
Mm. I want to see how clever you are to
Mm-hmm.
try and pull this off.
Absolutely. Yeah. Super. The most clever of all.
Yes, awesome. All right, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
switch. Yeah, I'll switch clever and evil back.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Um, he is not
Not
buying
buying it.
it at
No.
all. Like you thought you were doing this really cool, like kind of coordinated movement with Mr. Charles Montague,
Yeah,
but
but I still have all this stuff on me. Damn it! I didn't think about this. If Charles Montague had all of the stuff on him, I had it on me.
yeah,
I did not think to remove it. That clashes,
yeah,
and it's not in sync, and then it removes the whole layer of delivery. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. Mental note. Mental note.
yeah. And Captain Righteous is walking towards you,
Hmm.
asking like, "Do you know anything about these events?"
I'm gonna go. My back. Oh no, my back. Charles Montague, Mr. Charles Montague, you must help. Oh, and I tumble to the side and also knock over the old man in the process because, oh, I was just running. I'm clearly out of shape. Just look at me and my
Hmm.
fine specimen of a body. It's clear that I've been overworking myself.
This sounds like something evil.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah. Can I
No.
strategically accidentally break the man's leg as I fall?
I mean, that's definitely evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Clearly an accident. Clearly an accident because I'm
Oh
I'm
yeah.
more concerned about my fall producing the right effect of drama, and the broken leg was an accidental byproduct.
Hmm.
Hmm. Clearly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you break his leg. There's like this sickening crunch sound.
Nice.
Yeah. And the old man starts screaming. Kind of sounds like a really high pitched scream. You did not expect that
Hmm.
at all.
Wow, that's
And
value add right there. That's good.
yeah.
Nice. And I'm like I almost kind of like halfway stopped through my faking. Like, wow, very nice, sir. Oh, my back.
Hmm. Yeah, and Captain Righteous is instantly very concerned about the old
Hmm.
man,
He should
but
be.
he gives you the evil eye and says,
Mhm.
"I will be back for you, wrongdoer."
I'm like, oh, I have to get to the hospital or my bed. I must go quickly. Come, Mr. Charles Montague.
As you run away.
As I run away, like holding my back from like running away. Come, Mr. Charles Montague.
Yeah. Oh, you see Captain Righteous pick up the old man and
Hmm.
fly off
Fly
towards.
away. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Whew, to be done with him, Mr. Charles Montague.
Yeah.
Now we can be. We have completely passed by our. There will be no treats tonight. We have entirely blown past our time. I'm not even going to look at it. I'm not. I take off my Casio watch, my electronic Casio watch, and I throw it in a fit of upsetment. I
Hmm.
just can't. No, no. We'll talk about this later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you also still don't know where you are.
No, we have to find our way. You know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to use the new app to see if I can overlay any of our previous points of interest from our last route, our clearly established and well-known route, with anything that's in the area to see if I can cross-reference and then build a point that we can continue on our known journey.
Huh, well, that sounds very clever.
It does sound very clever, doesn't it?
Hmm.
Let's see how clever we're being. The
Not so
most clever.
clever.
The most clever.
The most
Hmm.
clever
Hmm.
ever.
Hmm.
Uh, yeah, we're gonna switch up your evil and your power.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, so you try to do this fancy thing with overlays, and really you cannot figure out where you are
It keeps
in
popping
regards
up
to
for
where
that
you
damn premium
view.
edition thing, and I refuse. I'm not gonna do it right now.
Yep, and it keeps trying to send you to Starbucks.
Rude. Not that's not happening. We're not doing that. Do you know how many there are in the city? There are so there's one corner, I remember it. It's on 4th and J, and there's four of them. There's four, one on each corner. And that's if that's not the height of insanity. They call me evil. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's something that I think about. It's just
You should see how much they charge for their coffee.
yeah.
No.
You want to talk I mean now we could have a separate conversation about who's really evil. It bears some thought. Mental note. I'm going to think about this later.
Hmm.
Hmm. There may be something to gain there by thinking this through. Anyways,
No.
no overlay will help me in this case. Damn, I dare not stop and ask for directions. That would be pathetic.
And not nearly evil.
Not nearly evil. This is a problem. You know what? I think I think it is time. I turn to Mr. Charles Montague. It is time for nature to shine. Mr. Charles Montague. I stop and I point and I say, lead us the way. Take us to home with your clearly fine senses of nature's direction. I will trust
Ooh,
in my fine companion, Mr. Charles Montague, to take us to home.
nice. Maybe we should see how clever Mr. Charles Montague is.
Absolutely. Yeah, well, it's almost, I've said to many a friend, it's almost like we share a brain,
Yeah.
and it's clear in that rolling.
Oh.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, he seems a little confused at first,
Hmm.
but then like his head snaps in a direction and he
Yeah.
just starts going.
See, we've been working on this. It's there's a lot of stretch exercises, and we call them stretch exercises. It's not stretching like his muscle groups because he's an ostrich and he doesn't really have to do that. It's more in his natural innate talents and really trying to get him out of his comfort zone. I've been trying to explain this to him, but again, he doesn't understand English, so it's been difficult. But I believe through road exercises such as this, he's really starting to expand his ability set, and I'm quite proud. I'm quite proud of Mr. Charles Montague.
Excellent.
Mhm.
Yeah, so you are headed presumably back towards your, is it your evil lair, or do you call
Hmm.
it something else?
No, no, I think Evil Lair is a good move. Right now, we're trying to keep it pretty low key. Um, After tomorrow, where things take us, Mr. Charles Montague and I are gonna have a real serious conversation, probably over a couple of sessions of brainstorming, to really come up with a suitable name long term. But for now, Evil Lair is fine. We're not trying to draw too much attention until that
Mm,
attention is warranted. So,
nice.
mhm.
Cool. So you're running, and you start to kind of like recognize places now, and you realize you're getting like back towards like places that you know.
Mm.
And Mr. Charles Montague turns down a street, and as soon as you look down it, you realize that this is where the Springer lives, who is
Mm.
another one of your evil nemesis. And but Mr. Charles Montague is so fast; he's already like halfway down the street.
Yeah, well, they have a dog that he really likes to play with. They like to run around the block. It's like a cul-de-sac down here, but there's also like a small kind of side entrance that takes us over towards. It's like one of those pedestrian paths. I think they call it
The
pedestrian
Greenway.
because people who are pedestrian travel on it. Normally, we don't go that way for for obvious reasons. But I think today it's a fine stop off, but it's going to be difficult to pull Mr. Charles Montague away from Sir Schnauzer. So.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you know what? Sir Schnauzer doesn't have like a fence to keep him in,
No, not at all.
because the Springer has trained him so well.
Hmm.
So Mr. Schnauzer just like goes straight for Mr. Charles Montague, like
Hmm.
barking and
Yep.
jumping. And before you know it, he's like grabbed one of Mr. Charles Montague's spats, and
Hmm.
he's like trying to wrestle it off.
They are the best of friends. I tell you, it's just. Man. Is it Mr. Springer? Is he or she a another of the supervillains, or is it one of the
Yeah, it's
superheroes?
the Springer.
The Springer. Oh my.
Yes.
Is the Springer out in front of his yard doing the lawn, or just watching Sir Schnauzer?
Yeah, no, he's standing in the lawn, with his hose because he's watering the flowers that he
Mm-hmm.
has out front.
Yep.
They're all purple, by the way. He has a
Mm,
thing with purple.
nice.
And
It looks good.
as soon as Mr. Schnauzer starts making like all the noise from playing around with Mr. Charles Montague, he
Mm-hmm.
turns to look at them and starts yelling
Mm-hmm.
at the top of his lungs at Mr. Charles Montague to get away from his dear pet. Mr. Schnauzer, don't do that.
This is disappointing. It's so disappointing, in fact, that I feel the need because Mr. Schnauzer and Mr. Charles Montague, have been what I would consider I would I would I would venture to say the best of friends, and they have an interesting way of showing it sometimes, but I feel like they always seek each other out, and it's always a mutually beneficial engagement. And to see the Springer this way, acting like they should not be engaging in such fun play, I'm distraught, and I feel the need, even though I do not believe it. So this is difficult for me to do, but I need to now explain to the Springer how his color scheme of flowers with the new paint overlay on his fence is clearly clashing. And if there's one
Mm.
person that knows about the mishaps of clashing in color palettes and schemes, you're looking at him. I don't
Wow.
I don't want to be the one who's saying this, and it hurts me
Hmm.
to say so, especially because it's not true. So this is like doubly evil because I'm having to lie to myself in
Oh,
addition to lying to him.
wow.
Mhm. Double evil. I didn't even think this was in me.
Double evil.
Mhm.
Well, let's see how evil you can be.
Let's do it.
Man.
I know that it's not clashing. I can't bring myself to really put put the power behind it. I know it looks too good.
Yeah, and as you're standing there like fumbling around with trying to make fun of the color scheme,
It's not
the
working.
Springer looks at you and pulls the hose up and sprays you with the water.
Oh, you jerk! Now I am wet, and my costume is destroyed. We will be we will be talking about this.
Yeah.
Oh, did you want to switch any of my dice around?
Hmm. Yes. And as you're looking at like your ruined costume,
Mm-hmm.
out of the corner of your eye, you see Mr. Schnauzer run by with one of Mr. Charles Montague's spats in his mouth, and he's like ripping it to shreds.
This is just a fine day this has become. I think what I need to do is I am going to use my ability to redirect these small little droplets of water to go flying back onto the Springer and his dog. Actually, no, I'm spraying it onto the dog that he cares for so much. And then as the dog yelps, then I take the torn piece of garment from his dropped mouth, bring it to myself as we bravely run away from these lackeys.
Mm. Well, yeah, you've had a pretty rough day, so let's see how in control of your
Hmm.
powers you are at
This
this
has been
point.
this has been
I mean, you've
rough.
been running
Not
for a while. You've
not
had some ups and
I am
downs.
not in control. This is
No, man. I mean, you think that you're moving the water to spray onto Mr. Schnauzer.
am I spraying
Uh,
Charles Montague?
yeah, but instead it goes to Mr. Charles Montague, and now his outfit is ruined too. And not just his outfit, but like the little
All of it.
felt hat that you made. Like, yeah, no, there's no saving that.
Yeah, and that's cheap craft glue, so that comes right apart.
And it's
Yeah,
felt, which
and it's felt, and that
doesn't
just
like
turns
water.
into a little, paper bag mesh monstrous thing that's now just making him look silly. And that's
Yeah.
if there's one thing that we are not, it is silly.
And as you're looking at him, just like utterly like, ah,
Yeah.
the Springer starts laughing at you.
I am done. I think. Are there any that you want to change?
I think I already changed them,
Hmm.
or no, that was for the last one.
That was the last miserable experience that we went through. Mm-hmm.
Yes, we're gonna switch your evil and your power.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I need to. I just need to console Mr. Charles Montague as we walk to what now feels like the aptly applicable pedestrian road that we are going to go down. We're going to have a serious conversation. Are we really up for what's ahead of us tomorrow? This is, what should have been a very simple and relaxing walk has turned into a disaster. Frankly, a disaster. Are we even ready? Are we even ready for tomorrow? I don't know. I don't know, Mr. Charles Montague. I don't know.
Hmm. All right. Well, I mean, and the Springer, like his laughter just follows
Mm-hmm.
you as you and Mr. Charles Montague,
Mm-hmm.
like, mm, not really stumble, but like there's no presentation in the way that you guys are
There's
just
not.
getting out of this cul-de-sac into the pedestrian
No.
walkway.
We're
You
walking
just,
with shame. It's shame
yeah.
and disappointment. And now we're
Mm,
questioning. I almost feel like we're questioning our evil a little bit.
mm,
Mm-hmm. Just a bit.
so sad.
Mm-hmm. It is quite sad. Yeah.
Yeah.
There'll be some soul searching that comes out of this.
Mm. Well, Mr. Charles Montague continues to kind of lead you down
Mm-hmm.
the pedestrian walkway,
Good.
and you can see a very busy street coming up
Mm.
where the pedestrian walkway just kind of like tees into.
Mm-hmm.
And you recognize the street. It's one of the major streets near where your evil lair is.
Good.
It also happens to be the street that was closed off when
Mm.
you first started.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't see anything right now, but like you can't even see like any traffic or anything,
Hmm.
which is a little odd because it's a really major thoroughfare.
Okay. Well, you know what? I turn to Mr. Charles Montague and I try to put some pep into his step, and I tell him, even though he does not speak English, but he can understand the feeling and the emotion behind it, that look, what's behind us is me knocking my headset. What's behind us is behind us, and I think what we need to do is we need to look forward to what's to come. And I feel like we need to really set ourselves up for this strong delivery and presentation that we're going to have tomorrow. And I think we just need to close this run out on a high note. And so I think we just stride out there and take on anything that's ahead of us and make sure that it's all about us and what's important to us as we come home together. What do you say, Mr. Charles Montague?
What does Mr. Charles Montague say?
Mr. Charles Montague probably does not say anything because he again does not speak English, but he
Mm-hmm.
understands that I'm expecting something of him, and so as I pick up my step, he probably strides alongside and
Yeah.
and tries to keep up.
All right, awesome. So as you make your way to the street that there's nothing going on, you notice that you can see the blockade up on the left side, and
Mm-hmm.
then you see another blockade down the right. They've maybe blocked off like two um, 2 blocks worth of space,
Okay.
and you notice that it's right in front of like an elementary school too. And in the street, you can see that the children are practicing doing their parade stuff for tomorrow.
Oh, a parade, you say?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. I have to pull Mr. Charles Montague aside. So we have a serious, and again, I'm speaking to Mr. Charles Montague. He can't understand what I'm saying because he doesn't speak English. He's an ostrich. Um, so mostly I'm having this conversation with myself, with Mr. Razzadazzle. This is a fork in the road. Talk about a fork in the road. We have some. I think this is going to sound strange, Mr. Charles Montague, but follow me. I think that we need to elevate the level of this parade as a, I don't want to say the words test run, but we're going to stretch our prowess and show these children what a real parade can be about. And this is a way for us to get back on the horse and be ready for tomorrow. So we're going to go out there and we are going to watch these children do their parade, and we are going to use our powers to make the parade even more glorious than it clearly was not before.
All right. Um, Mr. Charles Montague makes whatever sound it is that an
Mm-hmm.
ostrich makes.
Like a bleak or something? I'm not sure. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I like it. Okay, yeah. So whatever streamers and cool things are there, like tiny little balloons or whatever, we're making them like dance and go far beyond what they were originally intending to do using our powers.
And how are you making this happen?
With our powers, with my
Okay.
telekinesis abilities. We're doing it. We need the win. We needed a win, Mr. Charles Montague.
Yeah, so the streamers and the balloons, suddenly it's like they come to life.
Boom.
And everyone's just like you hear like just the people who are walking by not really even paying attention. They're suddenly like, ooh, ah.
Mm-hmm. I'm like finding like whoever this these child teachers creative director is for whatever parade and artistic thing they think they're doing, and I'm just kind of letting them know this is just something a little something I've been working on, and it's just something I've been having in the back of my mind. It's just it's just some brainstorms, and I think it pops. I think it works. I think it works with what you're trying, but clearly not delivering to here. But I think what I'm doing is really, whew, yeah, it's better. It's still terrible, but it's better.
Do you want to move any of your dice around?
Sure. Let's do clever and evil. Whew. I needed that. I needed that. Charles Montague, we needed that. That felt good.
Yeah, so the teacher that's obviously in charge, they have like their little clipboard and everything. They just look at you like you're insane.
Mm-hmm.
They're like,
that's okay. It's greatness
the
is
wind
misunderstood.
just
I don't
came
need to
out.
explain myself to some artistic flunk out. Don't worry. It's
Yeah.
fine. Don't worry about it. Totally understand.
Hmm.
I understand that you don't get this, and that is why you teach at an elementary school. So we're going to continue on our way because we clearly know this is the road we normally take to go by and continue on our road. So Mr. Charles Montague and I, we're feeling, whew, we got a pep in our step. We're continuing on our merry. We've blown our time, and I'm still not happy about this. But at least that was getting us back on the road to where we need to be.
Awesome. And speaking of the road where you need to be,
Mhm.
you make it to the intersection that you had seen blocked off before, and there's still a couple cops just kind of like sitting there. They have like coffee and like a donut box.
Hmm.
And they don't seem like they're paying a lot of attention, but as you and Mr. Charles Montague get closer, one of them starts to kind of stare at you like,
Okay, cool. I'm gonna use my powers to knock the donuts on the ground because I know Charles Montague told me once. I'm pretty sure it was in a dream, but it was hysterical. That if you take a police officer's donuts and knock them on the ground, they, they will try to get them, and then they will not focus on you. So I'm gonna try it and see if this works. I feel like if this is the day, this was gonna be the day. Or maybe it was an episode of Simpsons. I'm not sure, but it was clearly one of the two.
you
Ruined.
know, you didn't remember that dream was actually a nightmare.
Oh, damn.
And as you start to remember that in the dream, when you knocked the donuts down and the police weren't paying attention to you, like there was something worse that like came in. But fortunately, this isn't your nightmare.
Right.
You just,
Clearly.
yeah,
This day
yeah,
is not a nightmare, clearly.
no, not at all.
No.
You're unable to knock the donut box over, and in fact, the little bit that you actually get it to move draws the attention of the other cop, who then turns and looks at you. You can see the first one like starting to reach up to his
Oh no.
radio.
Yeah, he's probably gonna call that insufferable Captain Righteous. Okay, I think we need to. I think we need to just hurry on our way. Yeah, I feel like we're right around the corner, and maybe if we just put a bit of a pep in our step, we can make it back home before that pestering fool comes upon us. I'm pretty sure we can. Police are known to be slow.
Oh, well, you might have to be a little clever to make sure you get past them, and so they don't know exactly where you're going, and they can't tell Captain Righteous where you live.
I like it.
You must keep your evil lair secret.
Oh, 100%. Which we totally do there. Yep. Super did it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're making your getaway. You're running as fast as you can, and you know, Mr. Charles Montague is right next to you, and you suddenly realize that the footsteps you hear aren't Mr. Charles Montague. One of the police officers is running, like chasing you, and they're not that far behind.
Oh, is Charles Montague, Mr. Charles Montague's list still with me, right? He didn't get left behind.
Yes, he's still with you.
Okay, good. I was gonna turn around if he was gone. Okay. That is concerning. So clearly this police officer wants something with us, and that is not ideal because we have big plans for tomorrow. We don't want them to be disrupted or disturbed. I think we need to. Well, we're back on our own ground now. We need to. Aha! I have a most evil plan. I think it's most evil, but you might consider to be a use of our power. What we're gonna do is, as we are running, I'm going to run towards like the middle of the street, and myself and Mr. Charles Montague, we're gonna run over one of these hole covers in the ground that the mans can go down into the sewers for. And I thought of a most hysterical plan to use my powers to make this whole cover come off, and then the police officer will go down. I think it is most evil, but it may be a use of my power. You can decide.
Yeah, I thought that is I would say that's the use of your power, and kind of an extreme one because you usually only pick up like little things.
Smaller things, yeah.
Yeah, so you're gonna have to really concentrate for this.
I'm feeling it. And Mr. Charles Montague, he was the one who kind of gave me the idea. He was the one who was kind of running past it to begin with. I heard the clonks of his feet. I don't know what the feet are called. They're not hooves. They're something else. But I heard the clonk, and that's what gave me the thought. And Mr. Charles Montague, we sometimes will collaborate. We collab. I call it a collab
Mm,
on these ideas. And sometimes he really comes up with a doozy.
excellent. And is that,
I
did you
rolled a
really roll
three.
a three?
I did.
Awesome.
I did.
Okay, well then tell us how your plan goes.
Yeah, yeah. I think this is definitely while I desired it to be most evil, and I think the resolution will be most evil. Yeah, it's we run over this hole in the ground cover, and just at the right time we make it pop off. But it doesn't just come off. It's we time it in just the right way to make it so that when this police officer steps on it, it just gives and his step and the weight that he provides gives us that little bit extra edge because the manhole cover is actually quite heavy. But I do manage to pivot it just a little bit with my power, but then the rest of his weight and all of his gear, they make it go flying in the air in this kind of cartoony way, soaring through the air as he falls down this and probably tries to grasp at some ladders. I'm just picturing the hilarity as he's falling down this hole. I don't know what happens to him. I don't particularly care. And then we continue
Yeah.
on our merry way.
Yes, and then the fragrance of coffee and donuts kind of drifts away. It had been following you for some
Absolutely.
reason, but
Yes.
now
As it does.
it's no longer there.
hmm
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. So you turn down the next street, which is
hmm
your street.
Oh, we're almost home, Mr. Charles Montague.
Yeah.
This was a
Yeah.
this was an eventful
They,
day. This was exciting. It was. We're gonna have to write a strong letter to evilmaps.com and really explain to them how they've ruined everything.
excellent.
hmm And then we're gonna go home.
And then you're gonna, oh, so you're gonna write the letter first?
Well, no, we're gonna do that when we get home. But yes, we will definitely write the letter once we get home. Absolutely.
Awesome. So you make it up to your house,
Mm.
and you notice that the infuriating children have TP'd your house with craft supplies.
With craft supplies. It's like all sticky. Well, I mean, how does it look? So was it the girl that did it? Is this like kind of her homage to anger and disgust and dismay, which has been personified that I can really see, engage, and get the sense of, or is this what we would call an amateur job?
Hmm. I mean, it is a young girl child,
Yeah.
so
I'm like, sitting back, razzle sitting back and really thinking and looking at it, taking it in. Is this something that I get the sense of some hidden latent talent and also the emotion and the passion that's coming through it? I get that it's not refined, it's not controlled, it's not polished, but maybe there's something there. I'm trying to decide if I want to tear this down or leave it up for a moment.
oh. You definitely get the feeling that the girl had a very strong
Hmm.
anger when she did this, and she put like little details into some of it of like things she knew you would hate.
Perfect. Is the girl around? Is she like hiding behind a tree waiting to see nearby
Oh,
my
of course.
reaction? Perfect. I see her and I come up to her with Mr. Charles Montague and I take out of my fanny pack of supplies that I keep in the back, not on the front, in the back, tasteful.
Uh,
And I take out something that I find quite tacky and I give to her and I motion to her, yes, continue, like more. Yes, this is good. And then I give her like a small, a gentle, but tasteful addition that she might be able to apply. I don't want to take her all the way there. I want to see where she goes with it. I don't want to direct her artistic vision, but I want to see. I want to feed this. This is good. This is good. I feel like I'm using my evil to really connect with this young human child person
Awesome.
and
Yeah,
foster.
you see the confusion in her eyes at first as you like come and start interacting with her.
Hmm.
Uh, but you see something click
Hmm. It's
as
there.
well. Yeah, no, and she looks at the little tacky thing, and she looks at you, and she looks at it again, and she smiles and runs off.
Yes. 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 Mr. Charles Montague. It's moments like this that make me so proud to be an evil mastermind genius. It's, like I've told you many times before, but of course you don't understand me because you don't speak English, is that it's really about the future and leaving this legacy that's most important.
Mm.
Yeah. So, anyways, let's get back inside and write that scathing letter to evilmaps.com.
Yeah.
I feel like we've
And
made a difference today.
as you go in the front door, you kind of like just glance back, and you can see the flying form of Captain Righteous, obviously
Mm.
going to where the police officers were.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Um,
3 steps
yeah.
behind, like always. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yes. Clearly. Slam.
the Adventures of Razzle Dazzle
And Mr. Charles Montague.
and Mr. Charles Montague. Amazing.
Mm-hmm. That was fun.
Hmm. So what do you
Cool.
think?
Was that the whole game?
That's the game.
Cool.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
like you
I dig
have
that.
accomplished taking your pet for a walk.
I like it. Yeah. I like that it turns the superhero moment, or in this case supervillain moment on its head and make it more mundane and silly and fun, which I dig. That's a good time. How does this work with because you is this the game that you're saying can be played with more than 2 players?
Yeah. It
How
could
does this
be
play
it
with
says
more
two
than
to
2 players?
five. So if there's more villains, then you're like a group of villains. You each have
Mmm.
your own thing that you have to do, but you do it as a group.
Really? Okay, so we all have like different plots that we're trying to do?
Yeah.
Interesting. I wonder how that would work with different. I could see how it would work if we all had the same plot, like if we're all in a dog walking group. That would be hysterical, by the way. That would be hilarious. What were the other plots, by the way? I'm curious.
Oh, let's
Is that
see.
in one of the handouts?
Yeah, actually, it is on that back
There it
page one.
is.
But there's like return a library book, go shopping, visit the bank, bring a package to the post office, and pick up your
Hmm.
costume from the dry cleaner.
I feel like this would be great if we were all like if we all had different vices, all had different powers, but I guess I'd have to see it played to see how it works. Because it
Yeah.
feels like if you're taking your pet for a walk, that can be something that's done the whole time. Returning your library book, that's up until the point where you do your library book. It'd be cool if it was like if everybody was doing it together and just that one thing. Like we're all going grocery shopping, but for something different. We're all going to the bank, but we have a different reason for going, for going to the bank. Would be hilarious. Because then it's like it's that group of it's like the group of ladies who are walking around, power walking around the neighborhood. But it's like that with supervillains. Would be hilarious.
I don't know. I think that having different plots would be
Yeah,
fun too,
would
because
be
you could
good.
be like, oh, you only have one car, and
Mm,
you all have to go and do this thing. So you have to figure out like,
that's
okay, who gets
true.
to do their errand first?
Hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd be curious to see. And then when you do it, do you do like different, like everybody gets a chance to do a certain thing, or is it like just somebody wants to take an action and do something, and then you go through this too? Cool. I like it. I
Yeah.
like it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Figure it out as you go.
I super dig it. I love. Yeah, it was nice and chill, and it was very
Mm.
fun. I like how we're all playing bad guys. I like how it turns the bad guy, the whole superhero thing into the mundane. That's what I like. That's what I like the most, is that it's mundane superhero bullshit, which is
Yep.
great. I love it. It's so good. I dig it.
That's why I picked it.
That's super cool. I had a fun time with this one. And I gotta play with Mr. Charles Montague. I feel like Razzle Dazzle takes a back seat a bit to
Yeah.
Mr. Charles Montague, but I
Maybe
think
maybe
I'm okay
Mr.
with that
Charles Montague was the evil genius the whole time.
all along. I could see that.
Yeah.
I was mostly just his assistant. who's just moving him
Yeah.
wrong. I can see that. Yep, I can see that. Yeah, that was good. This was fun. This was fun and chill and comical. I can also see how you definitely need. I think this plays into players who can really run with and have fun with their setting and their situation. I feel like
Yeah.
if you had somebody who came in and took it like a little too seriously, I mean, you could still turn that on their head, as running the game. You could still make it more silly, and then have the comedic value be the fact that they're trying to be so serious with silly mundane things, which could still be just as hilarious.
Yes.
So yeah, but I feel like this is definitely leads towards more of the over the top part of it, which is fun.
No,
I,
yeah,
I had a good time with it.
it was really easy to go into that like over the top, just
Absolutely.
like really
Yeah. Well,
out there.
but it's over the top and mundane. That's what I love about it.
Yeah.
It's that combo of wild and wacky and superhero craziness, but then also like, yeah, but your animal pooped on the floor. What are you gonna do? Like, are you just gonna
Yeah.
leave it there like a jerk, or are you gonna
Like
like? Of course I am.
an
I'm an evil.
evil jerk.
I'm an evil jerk. Of course I am. So yeah, and I love it from the evil perspective because then you get all those things you'd normally do while you're doing a basic, because as people we always do all those really basic things. Like every single one of those things in there is all
Hmm.
something that's just obvious. But then what's the evil way that you go grocery shopping? How do you evilly bring packages to the post office?
Hmm.
Yep. I put it in an undersized box.
Wow.
Exactly.
Awesome. This is fun because it's again it's very story like.
Yeah, very much so.
Like we had the dice rolls, but it didn't like it added to the story. It
hmm
didn't like take over, which
Oh,
is
okay. So I just looked at the back page, and they're talking about resisting vice. One thing to use your skill of villainy to pursue your errands, but there's so many opportunities to show off your evil. Oh, so this is
ah.
like the thing where when people try to fight being evil, then you fight. Like if they try to fight their vice, then you try to
Hmm.
bring it in with a thing. Yeah, I don't think I was. I think I was like double downing on my vice.
You were.
So yeah, like I think there were moments where you're like, hey, maybe you want to roll to like not do that. Which was great. But that's great. See, so that takes care of the problem of, what happens if you're trying to do a thing that doesn't match up with what your character's
Hmm.
about. That's awesome. That's great. I
Yeah.
like that. That was cool. This was a great pick for Blind Date One Shot. This was great. Yeah, this was fun,
Yeah.
and it worked. I feel like it worked great as a two-player game. Some games don't work as well two-player, just one
Hmm.
GM, one player, as they do with a couple people. But I feel like this really hums with as a two-player game. I'm sure it'd be fun too with more, but it would be a different kind of hilarious with multiple villains, because like super villains that are just doing mundane crap. You're like, oh yeah, I gotta do this thing. Yeah, let's do the thing.
Yep.
Um, in their standard supervillain way, which is cool. I like
Mhm.
it. hmm I
It'd
dig
be
it.
great if like you had someone with pride and someone with vanity,
Yeah,
and then and they're like always trying to one up each other.
that's the thing. I was just
Yeah.
thinking about that. It's, how you can be the coolest supervillain as you're
Yep.
doing this mundane crap.
Yeah, because at
Uh,
that point, then you're not just a supervillain trying to
mm-hmm.
do this mundane crap. You're a supervillain trying to do this mundane crap with your buddies who are also supervillains,
Yeah.
and that could be helpful or like not.
Yeah, it was cool. There was that scene that we had in the middle there where, we had the real crisis of evil confidence, with at the Springer with the stupid dog. And
Yeah.
that was great. You don't get that out of many role playing games, and we got it out of this, questioning our very existence and our ability to do the big thing tomorrow. That was cool. I was like, oh no. I was like, as a player, I was like, oh, I'm worried. What about tomorrow? And then that next scene was perfect. That would have been if we'd have messed that next scene up. Like in my mind, I was like, oh man, maybe we shouldn't do the big score tomorrow. Like it's we gotta see about this. I don't know.
Wow.
It was good. I dug it. It was fun. How about you? What'd you think?
I liked it.
hmm
Yeah. It was the right amount of silly and creative
hmm
and Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. As
And,
a
well, and
player too, it's definitely the silly that you can really get behind and throw yourself at. It's which was enjoyable.
yeah. Um, I definitely like that it plays in scenes.
Hmm.
So like, you throw an obstacle at someone, and once they get past it, then you just go
Hmm.
straight to the next obstacle.
Yep. Which is perfect. I was really curious, like what the I'm gonna have to take a look at the rules afterwards too, because I was like, this is flowing so well. Just kind of go to what's the next thing, and if it is it more of a you just jump on to the next part and you just kind of throw out what you think the obvious next complication would be, or is it more like a you kind of work out like here's some things that you could have. I'm just curious.
I just threw out what I thought was next because when we started, I didn't know
Hmm.
if you like what your vice was going to be, what your power
Yeah.
was going to be,
Hmm.
or even what your plot was going to
That's true.
be. So it was like the only like pre anything that I did was think
Hmm.
about like, okay, what are things I could throw out there? I was
Mm.
like, neighbors, like nemesis, other
Mm.
villains that like
Yeah. Cool, common, generic things that you could run into on any of these plots. That's
Mhm.
cool. I dig it. Well, you know what? You nailed it because it felt very flowy as we were going from thing to thing. So that was like as we were playing, I was thinking to myself like, oh, I wonder what the generation mechanic behind this stuff is because like this is feeling good. This is feeling good. We're going to the next thing. We're doing the next thing. This is good. I like it.
Yeah,
So that was good. I dug it. That was good.
awesome.
Yeah.
I need to take a break real quick and relieve Kendall.
Yeah.
Um, did you want to wrap this up more or
I think we're good. This was fun.
okay?
Yeah, I think we're solid.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the
Yay!
game. I had a great time, and then we'll definitely be continuing the blind date one shots. This is good. This is we're on a roll.
Super fun.
Awesome.
Yay!
Cool, cool. Well, thanks for playing. I appreciate it. Thanks for running it.
Yeah, that was fun. I haven't run
That
something
was
in a
good.
while, so
Well, you kicked
glad
ass. It was real good.
glad to see I'm not that bad.
Yeah, yeah. Just getting the rust off and getting back on the horse or bike or whatever thing, unicycle. Yeah.
Yeah,
Nailed it.
yeah,
Real good. Had a lot of fun.
fun.
Awesome. Cool.
Cool. We'll talk to you later.
Not. Take care.
Bye.